And here we are, spawning in the upper left. In the blue, he is, of course, representing the Army Reserve and Team GP. He is Ryung. And his opponent in the bottom right in the red for 3AB and Team NV with 1 all-kill to his name. He is Crater. And it is funny because Crater, of all the players that I saw in this tournament, Crater was not one of those players that I expected to have an all-kill and to have like 6 kills over the course of the 4 games that his team did play. Because Crater, well, he has always been good, but he has not been incredible recently. He always seems to struggle from nerves, but I guess if you're online and you always have, if you lose a game, you just don't have to play anymore, and your team is always going to be there to back you up, maybe you don't have to worry about that stress anymore. That being said, on top of that, Crater has a new team. He is, of course, playing for Team NV now, and Team NV has been incredibly supportive of players like Maru. Of the other players that they have on their team. So maybe they have a better coach. Maybe there's a Team NV has someone on their team that has been able to actually do a good job and help Crater get over this difficulty that he has in terms of just stressing himself out to the extreme. So, don't really know. What I do know though is we're not seeing anything crazy from Ryung thus far, and I do like this. Ryung went for a rather crazy build in game number 1 yesterday. It did not work out for him in the slightest. He tried to cheese. He tried to do some sort of weird double factory 3rd command center play against Solar. Solar realized what was happening and said, "Okay, I'm just going to kill you now." And that is exactly what Solar did. Roach Ravager Ling attack that just bopped the Terran player. But there we go, 3rd command center build on the way at 230. So this is going to be the Beyond build, or what I've been calling the Beyond build. It is a 3 barracks, 3 command center build where you move across the map with a decent amount of stim early on, or stim marines early on, and then eventually you get your factory, you get your starport. And the whole goal here, you're not going to be able to kill a 3rd base, but generally the 3rd base of the natural is somewhat undefended. And you will be able to get on in there, stim on in, kill off half a mineral line, and you consider that worthwhile. Now, Crater, of course, going for a Blink opener in this game number 1. That makes a lot of sense. Blink, well, it is just kind of your stock standard opener. We'll be able to keep you alive against everything. And, of course, get on into the mid-game, where I got to imagine that Crater is just a little bit favored. Now, we will have another probe scout coming on in here, but this is just going to get targeted down. There we go. The Marines will find it. And probe will actually be able to escape. Never mind. Now, Crater, he has opted to go for a 3-gate blink here in this game number 1. So that's going to be middle of the road. It's not going to be as greedy as a 2-gate blink, or even a 1-gate blink, as we've seen stats do on occasion. But it is also not going to be quite as committed, not as all in as 4-gate blink. So Crater wants to get a little bit of damage, but it's not the end of the world if he doesn't. But anyway, stim on the way, +1 on the way here. Crater will scout how quick this 3rd base is, and of course we'll also see the additional barracks. Now, this is only 2 barracks for the time being because Ryung has opted to get a faster +1 in the exchange. Now, of course, we do have our 3rd base on the way now, but Ryung delaying that 3rd base that 3rd barracks just for a little bit to make sure that he has +1 for this timing, and +1 he shall have. Double Forge on the way here for Crater, and that's actually kind of interesting because this is, again, a very aggressive opening from our Terran player, so it's interesting that Crater has opted to go for the greediest hold. That being said, though, we don't have a Robo Bay on the way just yet. Crater's going to look to hold this just with Blink Stalkers. Kite his opponent across the map. All of those good things. But there we go. Factory just about done here. Actually, interestingly enough, Ryung is building a bunker. And we're almost at the time where he wants to move out on the map, so kind of surprised to see it, but I guess he's realized that this is 3-gate blink, so he's going to maybe be a little bit careful. But Crater is really not showing any interest in getting all that aggressive. 1-1 is on the way, charge is on the way, and I do like this. So, What some Protoss players have realized over the last 7-8 months is the fact that you just get a lot of charge. You get a lot of charge zealots. You just get 2 to 3 gas. You build tons and tons of gateways. You build tons and tons of charge lots. You can hold these aggressive Terran openers rather easily. So that looks like what Creator is going for here, as we do expect. There we go, 5 additional gateways on the way, as well as the Robo. So we will have warp-ins if that is necessary. But Creator, he's just going to put all of his eggs in the I'm building tons of charge lots basket. That being said, though, it looks like this army from Ryung maybe in position to move out just a little bit faster. Now, combat shields are 3/4 of the way done. Concussive shells as well, so maybe that's going to be Ryung's timing here. Now, a couple Stalkers are going to posture, but really they're not going to get a whole lot done. Now, Bio's going to stim on forward, but it's only 5 Stalkers. Stalkers will be able to blink out. And away we go. 2 additional barracks on the way here. Creator, he's taking his 4th as Ryung takes his 3rd. And I feel like Ryung wanted to get something done with this. Opting to just do absolutely nothing here. Just sit kind of defensively. That's not really the goal of this build. You kind of want to go on in and actually get something done. You want to stim on into the natural, into the 3rd base. Trade out this early army that you have for workers. Do something to put your opponent behind. And because Ryung did not do that, Creator has been able to get on into +1 rather easily. Charge is just about done as well. Robo Bay as well. So Creator has single thing that he wants in this game. And actually more than he would want. So there we go. Ground armor is now done. And finally, the army of Ryung is moving across the map. But Creator, he has a fantastic army in position at home. He's already done a little bit of damage here to his opponent. And that's a Ghost Academy on the way rather early. Now, of course, Ghosts are fantastic against charge lots. Don't get me wrong. But still. Vikings on the way as well. So Ryung just kind of realizes that Creator is going to go into Colossus at some point. So might as well get ahead on things. Now, of course, we do have a Warp Prism here on the left-hand side. And this is not going to be committed all that quickly, I don't believe. I think this is a Warp Prism that's just going to kind of go sit there. Wait for Ryung to actually get active on the map, and then maybe get something. But of course, actually, I think I'm just going to be absolutely wrong here. Creator is just going to run right on top of the missile turret, run right on past it. And there we go. Chargeless getting on in there, and now we got a big-ass warp-in coming on into the main base here. Now, of course, the Vikings will be able to kill off this Warp Prism, but not before the warp-in does happen. Now, these Chargelots, with the excellent hold position micro there from Ryung, the Chargelots not really going to be able to get a whole lot done. Yeah, they're just going to set in a hold position there. Accept their fates. But now we have 2-2 halfway done here for Creator, extend thermal lance as well, and it will be double Robotech. So eventually we're going to see some disruptor play from our Team NB Protoss player. Now, the one thing I will say is Ryung, because he did not trade away any of his army early on, he is a massive army supply lead right now. He's sitting at +30 army supply, and there are a decent amount of Vikings on the map. 4 Vikings on the map against the 1 Colossus. That is the perfect number. Actually, that might be a little bit of an overcommitment, but 6-2, absolutely the perfect number there. So we do have double disruptor on the way. That will be rather useful here, as Creator looks like he tries to hold. But we're going to have to see just what Ryung can get done here, as now he's going to stim on into this 3rd base. We should see an EMP on top of the shield battery, but there we go. It's just going to be an immediate shield battery overcharge here. Disruptor shot number 1 is going to land really nicely, but the Stalker, actually all of the Vikings have gone down, and the Colossi still stand, but some of the bio here has found its way on into this 3rd base. Workers are starting to go down, even as a Zealot run by on the left-hand side, getting fantastic damage done. But Ryung actually looks like he has been able to zone out his opponent for the time being here. With all of these Widow Mines, the 3rd base does go down. Now, of course, Creator does have his 4th, and is still up in workers. And the army supply lead is a lot smaller than it was. So, honestly, I don't hate that for Creator. He made the smart decision to not lose any of his tech, to not lose too much of anything. And now he's going to be in a fantastic position to maybe get something done. That being said, 2-2 is on the way. +1 air attack is on the way. So these Vikings will eventually be very good. But of course, it's disruptor tech from here on out. The Colossi, they're there to hold the initial push. And actually, they weren't all that successful in doing so. But they're there to hold the initial push. And after that, of course, it's just mass disruptor. It's going to be a little bit more powerful thing. And Vikings are abjectly terrible against disruptors. So, you land your Vikings and they just all blow up. You don't land your Vikings and they just don't do anything. Either way, not exactly the most optimal tech path. But, of course, +1 is for more than just Vikings. We do have Liberators on the way, a second starport, and Fusion Core. So we're going to get Extended Thermal Lance, or excuse me, not Extended Thermal Lance. We'll get Liberator range on the way here rather soon, and that is actually something that is very good against the Disruptor play. Now, Ryung, though, he is able to take his 4th base now. Creator, from a 1-base lead that he's had for the majority of this game, now he's going to be even on bases, even as Creator now taking his 5th base, but it's going to be a little bit delayed. But there we go. Enhanced ballistics, advanced ballistics are going to be on the way here, as well as enhanced shockwaves. That's actually rather late for that ghost upgrade. But Creator, he does have, of course, oh well, yeah, that's not going to get a whole lot. The random Widow Mine on the right-hand side will prevent static defense going on this side. But anyway, 3-3 just about halfway done here. So Creator will continue to have that upgrade lead rather soon. And I don't know if Ryung is going to be able to hit the timing where the upgrades are going to be at parity. Now, Creator, realizing just what type of a game this is going into Stargate behind your Dark Shrine as well. And it's a Death Aura game. This is makes absolute 100% sense. Well, I do like this. We're seeing War Prison Speed go down as well. Nice hot pickup there. Ryung will be able to keep that Ghost alive. So just a pure trade in the favor of Ryung. And once again, we have a supply gap. But this time, the supply gap not nearly as big as it once was. It's only 30. It's not 50. And we saw how well Creator was able to hold that previous one. Now, we do have the majority of the army here on the left-hand side here of Ryung. Just going to try to look to maybe move on into that 3rd base of Creator once again. But this wouldn't mind. Just got another kill. Okay, that really shouldn't have happened. There we go. We'll now go down, though. And Creator's army is on the right-hand side. Ryung's on the left-hand side. This has me a little bit worried here because I don't care how fast your recall is. That base is going to go down if Ryung stims on in. Okay, I guess he does have Colossus here on the left-hand side, but there's just not... Actually, the High Templar aren't really all that useful. Liberators are going to siege up, of course. That means the Colossi, they're going to go just down immediately. Now, we do see some Warpins, of course, but that's not going to do a whole hell of a lot here. The bio here of Ryung has absolutely zoned out the army of Creator, and he's not going to be able to get a whole lot done. That means this 3rd base is going to go down. Meanwhile, we have a Liberator on the right-hand side, not really getting a whole lot done, though. And actually, some Liberators will be found here, and we got a full flank coming on in from Creator here, but the Liberators are going to siege it up once again, and of course, they do have range. That is a difficult position to attack on into, because for the same reason that it is difficult to attack on into the 3rd base on this map, if your opponent's in proper position, suddenly it also is rather difficult for you to attack into your opponent if your opponent takes up that fantastic seized position onto your 3rd base as well. But look at this flank coming in here. Disruptor shot's going to come on in from every side, but they're not going to land. Ryung looks like a far better player than he did yesterday. Now, this push on the right hand side is not going to get a whole lot done. The Zealots that have warped on in, they will be able to defend things. But still, this push on the bottom, on the 6 o'clock position is the scary thing. Absolutely. Now, Creator, he's just posturing to try to maybe find some way that he can break this, but this is 4 Liberators and a lot of bio behind. I don't really know how he's going to be able to do that. Now, these Liberators, they're not going to get a lot done. Not with the Stalkers here. But... oh, now we Disruptor Shots coming on in here, hoping that Ryung is distracted, but is he distracted? Looks like he is not. Ryung absolutely taking a fan-frickin-tastic fight. And now we have a quad Marauder drop going on into the main base here. Now, the Warpin of Stalkers should be able to... actually, the DT should be able to just clean this up rather easily. And it's just going to try to kill off maybe some pylons. Now, Ryung, he does have his 5th base on the way. Creator only on 4. And the Marauder is actually still alive. Creator only on 4 here. He has lost his 3rd base for the 2nd time in this game. There we go. +3 air attack is on the way. 3-3 for the ground. And now we're starting to get into the fun upgrades. We have Neo Steel Plating. We have high-sec auto tracking coming on in here. So the Planetaries are going to be powerful, powerful things. Now, Liberators are going to look to siege up. Okay, no, never mind. No, they won't. She say they're going to look to siege up on this ramp. And they're just going to stay in anti-air mode. Okay. We do have Creator finally transitioning into that late game tech that is so difficult for Terrans to deal with. There we go. Now we got the siege up here. First, just a second disruptor shot. Not going to get a whole lot. Now, it will get one ghost, but that's not really a big deal here. And look at all the Liberators. Siege up, siege away. This is a massive concave in here from Ryung. But Creator is doing a really good job of kiting out of it. I'm not really sure how much that matters, though. So many... Freedom has arrived. 9 Liberators are on the map here for Ryung. And this has quietly turned into an objectively masterful TVP, an objectively masterful PvT from both sides here. I did not expect this length of game, this quality of game from Ryung, from Creator, when I saw that they were the first players of the day. Because Ryung, honestly, he's been looking better, but still not looking all that great in recent days. He just kind of got bopped by Solar in a build that didn't make a lot of sense. I've had the opportunity to cast him in some best of fives and some games like that, and he honestly didn't look all that great. But, well, you know, he's looking really good in this game, and Creator has taken some blows. Now, he's not dead, absolutely, and the income is roughly similar at this point in the game. Creator has most of the bases that he can realistically be expected to take, as has Ryung, so we're not really going to see a whole lot there. Now, a Stargate was built. We only saw one Void Ray come out of it. I kind of expected Creator to go into this kind of late game Skytoss army that we've seen happen on occasion, but oh, look at this flank coming in there. Hold that thought. Disruptor shot on the right hand side is going to be damn good, but the rest of the disruptors will go down. But we do have Storm, and the Storms are going to be rather good. But look at that. Actually, the stasis trap is going to save Ryung for the time being. Where is that? Or when did that go down? Huh. Well, stasis trap did go down, as it looks like the Oracle is where is this Oracle? Yeah, there we go. So that Stargate was used in late game just to build an Oracle. Now Stargate will blink forward, but this is a lot of Liberators sieging on up here. For every the Stargate, yeah, they got one Liberator, but they lost a lot in the exchange. Now we have +1 mech carrot plating on the way here, and look at the freedom zones. I feel so very liberated at this point. Now, nice EMP there. Will only knock off half the energy of that High Templar, but now, well, this Disruptor, it should get targeted down. No, not enough bio was committed. Now, Disruptor's doing a really good job of making sure that Ryung doesn't really get his way on in, but now it's only 2 Disruptors there going down. And we got a little bit of base trade scenario coming on in here. Creator looking to get aggressive, but 2 Liberator zones are already in position, so it's going to be rather difficult. DTs actually are not going to be able to get this planetary. Not enough of them were made, and with high-sec auto-attacking, well, the planetary fires more, it fires faster, and it has a lot more armor. So now Ryung here, he has been able to knock off the 4th base. Liberator zones are going to come on in here, and look at the flank. Ryung, he's going to do it as the best splits he possibly can. Now, it's not going to be the best possible, but it's still going to be good enough to keep him alive, and that is all that is necessary, because on the other side of the map, Ryung is doing crippling damage here. So much production here is going down. Now, we do have a recall. But the orbital of our Terran player did not go down. It was only forced to lift. Ryung still has 53 workers. He's just going to stim on into this 3rd base that has suffered so much over the course of this game. Now, DTs are going to look to get something done, but we just have a big scan here. Now, the Storms are actually going to be really nice on top of all these Liberators, but the Liberators will still stay alive. There's not a lot of anti-air here. Second Storm is going to be maybe a little bit better, but Liberators, they're still alive. They are still strong. They're still powerful. All the Archons are going to go down as well. Actually, well, I guess 2 of them. And now Ryung here sitting on a 50 army supply lead. Of course, Creator has a flank set up for him here, but I don't really know how good that flank is actually going to be. Now, the Terran bio is absolutely overstimmed, and that is a bit of a problem here. All the Terran bio sitting on orange and red, because the medevacs, well, they've not been built for a while, and a decent amount of them have died. They just have no energy. So, actually, though, Ryung, he's just going to collapse on this left-hand side. Alright, good. The Colossus is just going to go down. That's unfortunate. Now, shield battery overcharge will get popped. But that much just a wasted cooldown here. So now this is what we're looking at. We have a full surround coming in here from Creators. He looks to break his opponent. Disruptor shots are actually going to do a really good job, but the army of Ryung is now backed into a... Look how red this is. There is no energy. We do need it. We really need to see some more medevacs here on the map. Now the Stalkers will move in from the left-hand side as the Charge-led Archon army on the right-hand side. I got those directions flipped, but anyways, are going to try to knock off these Liberators, because as long as these Liberators exist, Ryung cannot take the fight. But the DTs are actually going to be able to carry the fight here. The army of Ryung is so damn low that DTs are actually going to be in a fantastic position. But now, with the scan, DTs won't be able to get a whole lot done here. But the entire army of Ryung is one damage instance away from dying. Pretty much. It is so freaking overstimmed. Now, Ryung will continue to find his way across the map. Actually, I don't believe he can stim anymore. I don't believe he can stim, which means the efficacy of this army is not all that great. And I like this from Creator. He says, okay, look, if you're going to siege up in this position, that's fine. I am just going to go, and I'm going to cut off your reinforcements. But Ryung, he's just keeping his reinforcements home for the time being. Ryung, of course, sitting here only on 3 bases, really only mining off of one of them. And this is absolutely a chokehold position from Ryung here. That being said, though, Creator, he still has a powerful army. He's going to go on the counterattack once again. And honestly, Ryung's army, if we can get any sort of splash damage on there whatsoever, Colossus, Archons, it is going to melt so damn fast. And we do have the army here of Creator on the counterattack. Stalker's going to blink on into the main base. EMPs are going to blanket everything. Yeah, that just means nothing's going to happen. GG, Ryung! He's going to take game number 1. One storm and all those Terrans die. Well, we didn't even need a storm. The counterattack happened, didn't really not get what it needed. And a Creator, he's going to fall down. Ryung, he's got 1 kill to his name. So we're going to have to see exactly who 3AB are going to send out next. Is it going to be Patience for another TVP, or are they just going to pull the big gun out immediately, send Rogun in there to clean on up, to go for that all kill? Now we do have game number 2. We'll be on Lightshade. Welcome, Zeltia. Welcome, Bitterwood. It will be Patience, so they're going to hold off on Rogue until they need him. Yeah, unfortunately, there is no Matcherino for this particular matchup, as this is sponsored by Freaka TV. It is the Broadcast Jockey Destruction match Season 1. Now, Patience will be the next player coming on in here on Lightshade. It's going to be another TVP. And I kind of like this, right? This is one of those ideas where you've been watching these games. Right, you've been watching these games that your teammates been playing. You're like, okay, I see the tendencies that that Ryung is going for. I think I can punish them. So we have to see whether he will be able to do so. As now we're getting loaded on into game number 2 here. It's gonna be Lightshade will be our map. Ryung versus Patience are our players. It is the grand finals, of course. Ryung does have that 1-0 lead. And now, without further ado, we have game number 2. Here we are, spawning in the upper left, in the blue on a 1-kill streak thus far for the Army Reserve. He is Ryung. And his opponent in the bottom right in the red, he is representing Good Game Gaming, but also 3AB. Give it up for Patience. Oh man, Bitterwood, you're missing out if you're not familiar with Ryung. Ryung was one of the absolute best Terran players in the world 5 years ago. Played for Axiom, played for Slayers. Of course, Slayers, one of the greatest StarCraft 2 teams of all time, before some drama killed it off. Slayers had Alicia, you had the Emperor himself, which I'm blanking on his name. You had Ryung, you had a bunch of different fantastic players. Now, some drama did kill that off, but Ryung, routinely a round of 4 GSL caliber player back when you had Code A and Code S, when it was incredibly difficult to get on into Code S. The depth of Korea was what it was. Now, Korea, the top end of Korea is still fantastic, but the depth, maybe not quite as good as it once was. And this is, it's an interesting wall there. I'm not actually sure if that wall's off the Reaper wall. I assume it does, because, I mean, these are pro players, but that is a rather interesting positioning. Now, we're going to have to see exactly what Ryung opts to go for here. Game 1, he went for the 3 barracks, 3 command center build. And he didn't do anything with it. He just waited to move on out until about 180 supply. And he did have a 50 army supply lead over his opponent. I don't believe that actually blocks the Reaper Cliff. Interesting. But of course, Ryung not even going for a Reaper in this game. SCV Scout would be good enough for him. And there we go. I was going to say, that position there kind of makes me think it's going to be a Stargate play. And there we go. Stargate is on the way here. Patience says, okay, well, you know what? The most defensive option I can go for is Stargate play. I'm just going to get a lot of Phoenix. I'm going to lift up anything you want to go for, because this is a 1-1-1 opener here from Ryung in this game. And actually, it's looking like we might see a proxy starport coming in here just based off that SCV positioning. But no, SCV is just scouting around, making sure that Patience is not proxying anything too crazy or anything at all, and Patience not really going for that. Yeah, Ryung, well, you got to remember here, Ryung, he's playing for the Army Reserve. Armani, Ryung, and Dream have all gone to the Army, have all come on back with, well, actually, wait, has Armani done his military service? I would assume so, because he's on Army Reserve, but I honestly do not remember. Anyway, Oracle is now on the way here. Phoenix behind this, of course. That makes a lot of sense. That's what you want to go for. And it looks like we're going to see some Widowmine drops will be the tech path of choice here for Ryung in this game number 2. Now, of course, Patience, he has a Phoenix play. Phoenix, they're very good against Widowmines. So, actually, look at this. The Oracle's just going to dive on top of the Marines. And I'm not exactly sure why he's doing that. But, well, of course, with the Marines out of position there, he could have dove on top of the mineral line, but will not choose to do so. And now with the Widow Mines in position, the Oracle has to be very careful about whether it decides to dive on into that mineral line. One of the Widow Mines is pretty obvious. The second one, though, second one is not. Not at all. Alright, so this did look like a Widow Mine drop play, but Ryung not really choosing to drop anything with it yet. I guess because he saw the Oracle, says, okay, I'm probably not going to get anything done with this. Let's just take a third base. Sure. Now Ryung behind this, adding his third command center, but also adding the additional barracks he needs to make sure that things happen appropriately. And away we go. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, this is Ryung just moving around the map with his Widow Mines, trying to see whether he can find the positioning that he is looking for. We, of course, have 3 Phoenix on the map, and the first thing we're looking at here from Patience is just how many Phoenix does he decide to actually get. Will it be 5, which was the traditional Phoenix Colossus number, or does he pull a stats? Does he go more than that? Does he go into 7, 8, 9 Phoenix as stats is want to do? I'm not exactly sure. Both are absolutely valid positions. Both are absolutely valid things to do, but it very much depends on what the players, really based on their playstyles and based off of game state. But we do have our third barracks coming on in now, as now Patience has decided to consolidate his Phoenix play. He does have, of course, 5 Phoenix on the map, and that is where he will stop, at least for the time being. He may opt to add a little bit more later. Now, the Phoenix here, they've been sharking around. They're not going to find anything, of course, because Ryung just opts to not drop. And Ryung has been doing this a fairly decent amount, to be totally fair. He's been doing the whole, I'm going for a, for some play, and then he just doesn't do it, as now the Widow Mine will get lifted on up here. Widow Mines that are littered across the map, not really going to get anything done. Now, that one Widow Mine did get a nice shot off, but no more than that. And we will have 5 barracks here for our blue Terran player. Third base is done as well, although it's not quite in position just yet. Meanwhile, Patience, he does have his third base done. He is mining off of it, enjoying that nice 5 odd worker lead, which is just about where you want to be as a Protoss player at this point in the game. Colossi are on the way, Extended Thermal Lance on the way. We will see Charge be our first tech path of choice here as well, because Phoenix, they kind of take the role of the Blink Stalkers in a normal game. They deal with the Vikings, deal with everything like that. They establish a little bit of map control. Now, okay, so we will see one Phoenix go down. Will we see that replaced, though? That's going to be the question. 7 workers have died in the exchange, though, so I don't think Patience is too sad about that. Anyway, third base now on location here. Ryung now moving out to make sure that happens. And oh, what fantastic observer positioning. Just out of range there of that scan. And now we have Ryung looking to get a little bit aggressive in this game. But, oh, look at those force fields here. Army on the high ground will be separated off from the low ground. And Ryung, oh, he's not happy about this whatsoever. Now, the Phoenix, some of them will go down. And there are a bunch of Widow Mines here that, well, Patience has to be careful at. He does not have an observer with this army. Now we just have a drop. It's just going to find a Colossus in the middle of the map here. Ryung's going to be able to knock out one Colossus immediately, and it is so important to have every single Colossus firing in a game like this when you're a Terran player is going for an aggressive option, because you need that reinforcement ability. You need that damage ability. Oracle's going to go down as well. Ryung actually getting everything he wants in this game. Gomba. So there are a couple different styles. You can, of course, just all in with a ton of army, because when you go Phoenix Colossus, the ground army of the Terran players not all that great, or the Protoss players not all that great for a little bit, because they've spent so much on the Phoenix, on the Colossus. If you can get on in there, you can go for like a 5 racks, 3 racks before third command center play and try to make that happen. You also just get a lot of Phoenix. You just also get a lot of Vikings. That was the traditional answer. You just get a lot of Vikings, and you say, okay, well, I'm going to have enough Vikings that everything's going to get shot from the sky. But, of course, that is a bit more anachronistic at this point. You don't really go for that anymore. Generally, you just kind of play like Ryung does. You understand that your early pushes don't get a ton done. So you macro up. You take your third base. You get your additional upgrades. And you just put yourself in an even better position on in the mid-game. Now, these Widow Mines, they're not going to be all that impactful anymore, because, I mean, there are Colossus out on the map. But this drop, though, this drop actually may get something done. And you also got to remember here, there are only 2 Phoenix or 3 Phoenix left on the map at this point. The drop defense here of our Protoss player is not nearly as powerful as it once was, but it will be good enough here, although 1 Phoenix is going to get targeted down, 2nd Phoenix getting targeted down, and the 3rd one is going to stay alive. But already a really nice trade there from Ryung, as he is, all he's doing here is he is diminishing the map control of the Protoss player. There we go. Phoenix. Oh, Phoenix is barely going to stay alive. Now we have a bunch of warpins. Means this drop is not going to get any more done. Dark time. Oh, there we go. Last Phoenix does go down here. So it is no longer a Phoenix Colossus play. It's just standard Protoss play. Now, Patience is on 5 bases, and that is something that Ryung does have to be careful about, because Ryung is only on 3. It looks like he's gearing up for a push, but he does not have the supplied lead that he had previously. How many Vikings does he have on the map right now? He has 5. 5 to the 3 Colossus. You do want at least 9 for the Colossus play. It's generally about 3 per Colossus is that numbered. And then, of course, generally, well, we'd say, okay, Phoenix here, you want to get a little bit more than that, but the Phoenix are all dead. But here we go. Disruptor's now on the way. Blink on the way as we move on into the late game. Patience playing this macro. He's just in a fantastic macro position now. Now, the army of Ryung, though, will find everything on the left-hand side. Now, we will see the photon cannons get targeted down immediately. Shield battery overcharge, of course, has been popped. Force fields are going to be rather nice, and most of the Widow Mines not really going to get a whole lot done here. So Ryung will be wholly unsuccessful in this push. And actually, for the first time in this game, he finds himself down in supply just a little bit, but down nonetheless. Now we do have 2-2 on the way here for Patience. Ryung as well. Ryung with a slight lead in +2 attack. +2 armor is going to come out just around the same amount of time here. Now with the tank on the defensive position, these charge slots actually should get a ton done, but actually I love this. Hold position into the mineral line does mean that the tank friendly fire will kill off a decent amount of SCVs, even if the zealots do not. And notice also the Patience, he had this run by, but he didn't do anything with a lot of it. He only moved half of it in, which means he will have more of that run by later on. Now, Ryung, his 4th base is done. 3 additional barracks are on the way here. It's going to take him a little bit of time to take that 4th base, should he opt to take the 9 o'clock base. Now, of course, ghosts are out of the map. We do not have enhanced shockwaves as of yet. Though now the army here of Ryung is going to stim on forward. Disruptor shots are going to go off, and that's actually okay. You can target. Oh, never mind. The scan will run out. This DT should just go down, though. There we go. DT getting targeted down here. And Ryung moving on into this late game tech once again. His army, not all that powerful on the left-hand side. Stalker's actually going to blink on forward. DT's getting warped in from the pylon that is also blocking the base. And Patience honestly looking a lot better than Creator did in this matchup. Ryung, though, he's still in a damn fine spot. Liberators are, of course, 4 at a time coming out here. We do have Liberator range. Eventually, the Fusion Core is now on the way. And we're going to have to see just what Ryung wants to do to make this hold happen. Because the army of Patience is knocking at his doorstep. And this is a terrifying Protoss army. Actually, 2-2 will be in advance of the 2-2 of the Terran player. Now, that being said, the Vikings are in a fantastic position here. One Colossus does go down immediately. And actually, Ryung, he's just going to stem on top of things. There is no meat left in this army. All the Colossus are going down to a minimal trade. This base will absolutely get killed. Actually, get canceled. And that is a fantastic situation there for the Terran player. Now, he wants a little bit more. He does not want to be down as many bases as he is, but knocking off that base still going to be a nice move indeed. Now, Liberator range is on the way here, of course. So the time of the Disruptor is it's not ending necessarily, but they're not going to be as powerful as they once were because, well, once the Liberator siege on up, with range, it's really difficult to get the Colossus balls on in there. Now, Stalkers will blink forward once again, and we have the Liberators sieging on up here. Stalkers are going to try to kill off as many of them as they can. Disruptor shots are going to get nothing whatsoever here. 2 Liberators do remain. And Ryung, once again, I mean, he's functionally maxed out. The supply gaps at this point aren't really a thing. Multiple command centers on the way, as well as we do have this drop on the right-hand side here. Something died. Actually, no, it's just a bunch of Widow Mines killing off a decent amount of the army here of Patience. Actually, I believe a Disruptor died to the Widow Mines. So that's a good move indeed. Oh, Ryung, he's going to be able to find these Disruptors, but nice force fields will keep the things alive for the time being. Oh, yeah, he's going to be able to zone out the entire Protoss, or entire Terran army for the time being. SCVs have been pulled to try to deal with this, and the army of Ryung, he's going to be able to get on top of things. 20 army supply lead now. He does not lose the 3rd base. 13 SCVs, sure. But at the end of the day, I don't know how much he cares. That being said, though, Patience has both high ground bases here. He has the base on the left and the right, and realistically, he should only have one of those. Now, we do have a siege coming up once again as a bunch, and I mean a massive amount of chargelets will find their way on in here. They will delay the orbitals for the command centers from coming down for the time being, but the army here of Ryung is in position, and there are absolutely enough SCVs to make that happen. Now, Ryung is almost mined out of his natural. 23 out of 4, so he will have to make something happen with that. This base will go on down once again. Shield battery overcharge is going to get popped. Please kill something here. Meanwhile, though, Ryung will lose his 4th base. So it is a 4-base Terran. Actually, Ryung is functionally not mining at this point. 300 resources a minute against a ridiculously overbased Patience Protoss player. Now, the Stalkers are going to blink on forward here on top of these Liberators. Liberators are not really going to be able to survive, not without any buffer behind. And Ryung, he's not in a great position here. Now, yes, he does have 2 additional command centers on the way. They're not done yet. They have been delayed. Now, Stalkers will find these Colossi. Colossus will go down rather quickly, but the Zealot run by into this 3rd base. Okay, that recall is actually not going to do anything whatsoever. 33, 34 workers do go down. But honestly, I don't know how much Ryung cares about that because he does not have any mining. His 3rd base, doesn't have many SCVs mining from that. His natural has very few mineral patches left. His main has nothing left whatsoever. So Ryung now at death's doorstep. Yes, he does have 3-3. Yes, he does have a marginally better army. I say very marginally here. He's got a slightly better army supply. But I mean, I don't exactly know what Ryung is supposed to do here. He's not mining. Now, eventually he will be able to get back on up things, but he only has 26 workers. Mules are good, but they're not great. Now, a lot of scans have to be spent on this army because DTs will just get dripped and drabbed on in here to fight the army of Ryung. Now, Colossus are getting targeted down here. There are just enough Vikings to be a problem, and Liberators with the extended Liberator siege will be able to zone out the Protoss army as well. But look at this. Patience, he's doubling the army supply of Ryung. At this point, yes, Patience will lose a base, but for every base he loses, he just takes another. Now, eventually, Patience is going to have to worry about fiduciary concerns here as he figures out just how much money he does have. But with the Disruptors and the Colossus, it is so difficult for Ryung to actually take the engagement he's looking for. As now we have this DT on the right-hand side, actually doing 50% damage to this command center, so that's a bit of a problem. And the longer Ryung waits, the worse it is going to be for him. He does not have anywhere near the economy what he's looking for. 6 more SCVs do go down. Ryung now sitting at 25. Now Stalkers will blink on forward here, but this is maybe not the best choke to attack on into. Liberator shot or Disruptor shots, most of them have already been spent here. Now Vikings will knock off one more Colossus, and nice splits there, but not going to be good enough here. Ryung now 57 armor display to the 80 of his opponent. There we have it. GG Patience takes game number 2, and it's now best of 5. Ryung got his 1 kill. Now Patience getting ready to get his own kill as well. So we're going to have to see exactly who is going to go in for the Army Reserve yet. Will it be Dream or will it be Armani? Dream, of course, has been the ace of the Army Reserve thus far, but Armani, he is no slouch either. Now, I think it's probably Dream because I don't know of any Protoss player that wants to, or any Zerg player that wants to play PvZ at the moment, or ZVP at the moment. But it will be Armani as our next player. And away we go. We got Patience. We got Armani here. All players are loaded on in. Juggernaut will be our 3rd map in this series. So I do expect some Stargate play. I do expect some Stargate play. Will be the play of the... will be what we got coming on in here. As Juggernaut was one of those maps where it's long enough that you can get away with it. The Queen timing is not as powerful as it is on other maps. And, well, we're just going to have to see what Patience decides to go for. Patience, he has 1 kill to his name. Armani looking to make sure that that is all that Patience gets in this series. As now we are loaded on in, of course, to game number 3. It is Juggernaut. Let's go. Here we are spawning in the bottom left. In the blue for the Afrika Freaks, the captain of the Army Reserve. He is Armani. And his opponent in the upper right, in the red, representing Good Gate Gaming, and 3AB, 1 kill to his name. He is Patience. Patience just playing a long game, playing a patient game in that game, a number 2 there against Ryung, and he just tore his opponent apart. Ryung really never able to get off of 4 bases, really never able to get off of 3 bases. And when that happens, well, when your opponent takes 7, 8 bases and you're only on 4, you're not likely to win. It's not going to be easy for you whatsoever, especially when your opponent is starting to take some of the bases that you should by rights own at some point in the game. That's what we saw happen there. Patience just out-greeted Ryung, and away we went. The patience of Patience will pay off. Absolutely, and it did. But now, of course, Armani here. It's a different matchup, PvZ instead of TVP. And we're just going to have to see what Patience opts to go for. Now, if I was a betting man, I would bet we're going to see a Stargate play coming on up here. Because, well, it's probably the best way to play PvZ on this map, and it's probably the best way to play PvZ in general. Now, of course, you do see Protoss players throwing out Twilight builds on occasion, and sometimes they even win. But it really feels like those are much more of a keeping the Zerg player honest, making sure that they do get their Roach Warren, and you know, don't immediately go into Hydras, and make sure that they don't skip the corners that a Stargate play, pure Stargate play, allows them to skip. That being said, though, it's the best of 1, and I like those Twilight Council plays a lot less in best of 1s than I do in best of 3s, best of 5s, best of 7s. thing like that. There we go. Stargate will be on the way here. Of course, this is Stargate into Warp Gate, so not quite the trap build that Trap has been so successful with thus far, which means it's most likely going to be an Oracle first instead of a Void Ray first, because getting that Stargate first instead of the Warp Gate does allow you to do that. You get the Oracle a little bit faster, which means the Oracle gets across the map a little bit faster and maybe can actually get some damage done before enough Queens are out, before enough Spores are out. Now, of course, the Spores should be done in time. That's just, Zerg players understand that timing, but you don't just have quite as many Queens as you would be running into with a Warp Gate first opener. Now, of course, next couple things we're looking for. Does Patience opt to get that 350 third base? Is that what he's going to do? Or is he going to go for some, is he going to delay his third base for the time being? Does he opt for some sort of, +1 air attack into a third base? Or does he even go for kind of a stats build where he goes and says, I'm absolutely, it's a Stargate play. Don't even worry your pretty little head about it. Meanwhile, of course, behind that, he adds a Twilight, he adds a Robo, adds a couple additional gateways, and goes for a Mass Zealot, or Mass Adept Tech. Now, we do have a second, second gateway on the way here, but that's just going to be in the wall, as the Zerglings will be able to knock this Adept on down. And okay, will be Void Ray into Oracle. Kind of expected to see that the other way around with how fast the Stargate was, but no. Patience says, I would rather kill off the Overlords first. Now, there we go. Second Stargate on the way before a third base, and honestly, I'm not a big fan of this. You don't really get a lot extra there in your defense by getting second Stargate before your third base. That just times out that you get like maybe one Void Ray, if that. So it's really not all that impactful, and your economy is actually set behind a good bit. So your natural is going to be set behind 40 seconds, or your third base is going to be behind 40 seconds. But you're not really going to see that big of a benefit of that second Stargate going down. The second Stargate goes down at 350 instead of like the 4 minutes that it normally would. So that's kind of what we're tracking here. Third base now does go up here for Patience, and we will see more and more Void Rays getting built on in. One Void Ray on the way now. I do expect to see a second Void Ray getting started rather soon. Oh, okay, it is on the way. Patience is just supply blocked. But there we go. This makes a little bit more sense. Of course, this explains why Patience chose to delay a little bit more, because now +1 air attack is on the way. And +1 air Void Rays are really powerful, actually. You go for Hydras. Hydras in general are good against Void Rays, but 1-0 Hydra or 1-0 Hydras are really, really good against 0-0 Void Rays. When you add that +1 attack, with how quick Void Rays do attack, suddenly the Hydras just melt. Suddenly the Queens just melt. So Patience is going to have that really quick +1. And of course, he's posturing with these Void Rays on the map here. I don't expect him to get too much done. But these Void Rays, I mean, there are 4 Queens, there are 4 Void Rays. There are enough transfuses. Yeah, the Void Ray is not going to be able to get a whole lot done here. They do suffer some damage, so that is something that Patience has to be careful of, because he will eventually have to make a hold with these, most likely. But Armani, this is a very delayed lair. Are we going to see a baneling bust? 7 banelings getting morphed on in, but the lair is not done. We don't have any baneling speed on the way here. Now this will, this times up with +1. So I guess we're just going to see a baneling bust. Meanwhile, of course, the Void Rays are here, and they're just not enough Queens to defend. But now, yeah, he's not going to bust the wall, but he will bust the Adept in the wall here. And now the Banelings, they're going to say, okay, well, they're just going to kill off the army here. Now, of course, on the flip side of the map, the other side of the map here, Void Rays are actually killing off a decent amount of these Queens with the Oracle as well. But Armani actually doing fantastic damage here as more and more Zerglings flood across the map. This is a really cool answer to this. I have never seen this before. This is a really cool answer. Now, Armani does have to be careful that he does not just die to the Void Rays, but no, he will not. As we only have 6 Void Rays on the map here. And with the Spores on here, yeah, the 4th base will most likely go down. But the Zerglings have found the Stargates. We have the Natural going down as well. Void Ray is not even going to get the 4th base because they feel like they have to be forced to recall, to defend. But the Natural here from Patience is not going to go down. I think he could have gotten the Natural. But that being said, 26 workers here 4 patience, actually, less of that. One Stargate has died, as well as now Zerglings. They're going to stream on into the Natural, and this time the Natural is going on all the way down here. 4 base Zerg against a 2 base Protoss player. Armani with the awesome prepared build in this game number 3, and this is why team leagues are so awesome. You get some pretty cool prepared builds. Armani going for the late layer, but also the baneling bust. You don't see that. That just isn't a thing. That being said, though, +4 air attack is just about done here. There are 8 Void Rays on the map, and not a lot of queens. 8 queens, yes, and Hydras are on the way, but with the spores here, with the queens, with the Hydras, it should be manageable. Now, baneling speed is on the way as well. That is going to be something here. Now, the queens and the Hydras will find these Void Rays, but you got to remember, these are +1 Void Rays. They're a good deal more powerful than you would expect them to normally be. As nice micro here will keep some of the Void Rays alive, and there's just not a lot of transfuses for the moment, but now the Hydras are going to get on top of things. 1 Void Ray will go down. Second one will stay alive. Actually, these Void Rays are doing a really good job. The second one will go down now, and of course, Baneling's on into the 3rd base. That's going to be a GG Armani. He's going to take game number 3 for his team. The captain of the Army Reserve taking a win. Knocking off Patience with a really, really cool prepared build, actually. That is not something I've ever seen before. Though you don't baneling bust, but if you baneling bust the Adept instead of the Wall with +1, it doesn't take a lot of banelings. I think it took like 2, 4 banelings. What? Adepts have what? 200 total HP, and a baneling does 33 against light. Yeah, so 4 banelings. Anyway, that was a pretty cool build. That was a very, very cool build. Now it's going to be Rogue. The final boss of 3AB coming on in here against Armani. I love that Rogue, of course, rocking Specials portrait. I wasn't sure that was just for the series they played against Kimchi Wan, but no, Rogue just rocking Specials portrait here. As now we're getting ready to move on into Game 4. It will be on Submarine. It's a ZVZ. It's going to be rather explosive, I would imagine. There we go. We have the go-go-yo from both players here. And away we go. Now, it should be noted that as we look here, the prize pool differential between 1st and 2nd place is rather massive. It's about $4,400. It's 5 million won versus about $1,000 for 2nd place. So, you know, in the traditional Korean, the traditional Korean tradition. Wow, that's really repetitive. We see a big gap between 1st and 2nd place, much like in the GSL, much like in a couple other things. But anyway. Game number 4 is loaded on up here. Armani's team, the Army Reserve, they got a 2-1 lead. Let's see whether Armani can't force the revive out of 3AB. We're going to have to find out as game number 4 is loaded on up. Here we are spawning in the upper left, going for a 16 pool in the blue for the Army Reserve and the Afrika Freaks. He is Armani. And his opponent going for something a little bit more traditional in this game for the Dragon Phoenix Gaming, the captain of 3AB. He is Rogue. Now, a 16 pool is not a traditionally aggressive opener. Not really. Now, we will see, of course, some Zerglings there will find their way on the map. But traditionally, of course, 16 pool is a way to defend against things. Defend against a 12 pool, defend against a 13-12, defend against a 12 pool drone pool. All of these things, you get queens a little bit faster, but of course your natural is a little bit delayed. Now, certainly playable. One build versus the other. The 16, 18, 17 is arguably just a little bit better of a build. Your queens match up a little bit more nicely. Excuse me. You do get more drones, all those things, but on the flip side, still playable there for Armani. Although I'm not sure Armani wanted to take a slight build order disadvantage against a player such as Rogue. Now, Rogue, interestingly enough, has droned up to 21 supply immediately. Says, okay, I don't think you're going all in, Armani, even if I did, of course, scout that your natural is a little bit delayed. It's not delayed enough that I have to be worried about it. Now, Zerglings will try to move across the map here. It's only 2, though. As really, they're just scouting Zerglings, as Armani's now trying to catch up on his worker count. Because right now he's down by 2, but as things move on, he's going to be absolutely fine on that front. So look, I thought I saw those Zerglings go down, but no, they're just sitting here in the bottom left, looking to get as much scouting as possible. So, what we look at here, oh, Rogue, sorry, one thing I didn't notice, Rogue going gasless here in this game. And well, Armani is not, of course, and he will actually, Rogue will be able to find his way on into the main base and see that, well, okay, this is A, 3 out of 3 is still on gas, and B, well, speed is on the way. So considering it's 3 out of 3 on gas, that does tell us that Armani wants to get aggressive in some way, shape, or form in this game. So Rogue aware of this, but of course it's gasless. He's going to be doing that anyways. We do see it. We will see a maybe not a full wall, but enough wall that the queens will be able to block things off. Now Zerglings, they're going to try to find their way on in. They will be they will get in, but with the queens here, not really going to get a whole lot done. And Armani, he's going for two base layer behind this. Now, is this for roaches? Is this for a roach nidus? Is this for mutas? No one really knows. Now the queens will try to knock off this overlord, but actually, yeah, the Zerglings find their way on into the main base once again. Rogue doing a really good job of getting the scout off. He says, okay, I see that you got a lair on the way. And actually, this overlord's not even, no, it will. At the last second, overlord will go down. So you got a lair on the way. I see you're going for 2 gases. Wait, did he see the 2 gases on the natural? He saw the 1 go down, not the second. Okay. And, okay, Zerglings now, they're going to find their way on in. And, yeah, they will see that. Alright, now the lair is done. We have that 4th gas getting out of here, so this is mutaplay from Armani. At the very least, he's trying to make Rogue think that this is mutaplay. But no, it looks like he will commit to keeping that 4th gas there, and we should see a Spire get dropped down. But no, Roach speed +1 off of 4 gas. That is interesting indeed. Not something you expect to see all that often. But Armani, rather supply block for the time being, he has lost an overlord of his own. But there we go. Spire is on the way. Okay, yeah. That makes a little bit more sense. We're going to see +1. We're going to see roach speed. Because no one really goes pure mutas anymore. Not with the Lurker Turtle into Viper tech that we've seen happen more and more often here. The time period that mutas can really get a whole lot done in this game is not nearly as long as it once was. Now, of course, the Spire is halfway done, so we're probably going to see like 8 to 10 mutas try to establish some map control, take the muta attacks here, knock off 3 or 4 overlords, and not do a whole lot more than that because, of course, behind this there will be a lot of roaches. Now, Rogue, interestingly enough, he is going for double upgrades on top of his roaches here, and that's not something you generally see. Generally, you see +1, and then you go into 2-1 behind it, because honestly, Carapace is not nearly as impactful on roaches as +1 is when we're looking at pure roach play. Now, Rogue will scout this Spire. He will scout the Spire at about 80% completion, and that should tell him, okay, I know what you're up to here. Actually, we'll see that +1 is done on the Queen as well. So I think we actually, I'm aware of a couple Muta Roach all-ins. I don't think that's what we're going to see Armani go for here. But it is possible now. Okay, there we go. 6 Mutas on the way. 3 more Roaches as well. And Armani, he's a little bit down on worker count. He's down 11 workers, but he's going to look to try to equalize that just a little bit as his mutas do find their way across the map. Now, Rogue is going into a Hydra Den immediately behind this. And actually, again, with +1 Carapace, actually, that's really good against mutas. Mutas can fight Hydras in small to moderate numbers when there's no +1 armor. But when the +1 armor is there, the Roaches die a lot slower. The Hydras die a lot slower. It's just not all that impactful. So now it will only be 6 mutas that are going to get built here for the time being. Although Armani, once again, he's been supply blocked a good amount of times in this game thus far, which is rather unfortunate for him. Now, with the queens here at the front, these mutas should not get a whole lot done, and it's actually just going to be additional drones. So Rogue, he's kind of reading this like this is a pure muta play. Infestation Pit on the way, Lurker Den on the way, and Armani, if he's able to just read this and say, okay, well, time to max out on roaches and go kill you, I don't hate it. I would not hate it at all. Now, 2-1 on the way here, 1-1, of course, done for Rogue, so we will have upgrade parity at the 2-1 mark. Now, more and more Hydras are on the way here for Rogue, and Armani, he's now starting to hit. He's now starting to massively increase his supply. For the moment, it's still even, but it's just a bunch of roaches getting, or just a bunch of roaches and ravagers getting made on in here. But Rogue, he should be able to, yeah, he will be able to scout this with his, actually, did he scout that? I'm not exactly sure whether he saw too much of that army. But again, more and more roaches on the way as Armani does take his 4th base. Lurker Den, though, it's done. We do have a hive on the way here, and we will see some lurkers start to get morphed rather soon. There we go. Lurker eggs on the way here. But mutas, they're just getting a little bit done here. They're gonna maybe get this spore, but the Hydras here are on the defensive. Not all that big of a deal. But Armani, though, he's gonna have to look to leverage this supply lead rather soon, because eventually we're gonna be in this situation where lurkers say, I don't care about your supply lead, you're not attacking on into this, and we don't have an infestation pit here for Armani. No Hydra Den, no additional tech on the docket here for Armani, so we're gonna have to see exactly what he can get done here, and it will be a Nidus play. Okay, that's pretty cool. Nidus, of course, can just circumvent all of the lurkers. If you Nidus on into the main base, who the hell cares that you're dealing with other things? But no, Armani, he has an army on the left-hand side, army on the right-hand side here. He will be able to cancel, or he maybe even kill this army of Rogue on the right-hand side. Yeah, that should just go down. And it was killed, not even canceled. Now, lurkers here do make this roach run by not impactful in the slightest. But a queen's going to go down, and roaches will find their position outside of lurker range. So they're going to be able to get a decent amount of damage done there. Meanwhile, of course, Rogue getting a shit ton of damage done on the left-hand side, as he is going to be able to deny this 3rd base. Mutas are not going to be able to kill that off in time. Nidus Network goes down as well, so 3rd base has died for both players here. And Armani, he will be able to clean this up eventually, but we will have all manner of queens assassinated. Of course, 14 drones have died, so Armani, okay, please kill this last roach. There we go. Last roach going down, and now we have the infestation pit on the way. And now no Lurker Den as of yet, no Hydra Den as of yet. But eventually, Armani's going to be able to get some sort of tech that he's looking for here. Seismic Spines, of course, the 2nd piece of tech here. We did get on in... No, never mind. We did not get Lurker Burrow. I thought we did with how fast those Lurkers were burrowing, but that is not the case. And now Seismic Spines is done in 10 seconds. But this 4th base, in the meantime, this 4th base of Rogue should get taken on down once again. And oh, nice biles there. 1 Lurker, not going to go down. And now with Seismic Spines done, there is no way that Armani can take this fight. But he does have a 50 supply lead. Hive is on the way. And I want to see him here say, okay, look, I'm not going to kill you right now. I'm not going to be able to do that, not really. But what I can do is I can expand. I can advance my tech. I can make use of this army advantage and turn it into a tempo advantage. Turn it into a tech advantage. Now, Armani's going to swing around to the other side of the map. But there are 4 lurkers here. Yeah, Armani, you can't get on in there. Now, the mutas have finally been traded off. Right, actually, no, Armani's just going to try to dive on in here. It's only 3 lurkers. They're just going to get targeted down immediately. Nice splits there for the Zerg players. Well, the spores are going to go down as well. And there is 1 lurker sitting behind everything. So Armani, he's not taking a good trade. Lurkers are so good against roaches. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. Now Lurker Den is on the way. Now, of course, we got a lurker flank coming in here. Armani, he's looking desperately for these fights that he really can just never win. So Lurker Den is on the way. He has his hive done. He does have his 5th base getting started here. He is comfortably on 4 bases. He has those 8 gaspers are so important when you're trying to get on into that Lurker Viper stage. Now, of course, Rogue will be marginally ahead in terms of Lurker upgrades. Marginally, significantly ahead. He will have Adaptive Talons. We'll have Seismic Spines long before Armani does. This one muta is actually getting something done. For the first time in this game, the muta is actually being impactful. Now, the biles will land just a little bit, but no lurkers do go down. And finally, Rogue has gotten his 4th base. Of course, Armani taking advantage of things. He has his 5th base on the way. It's not done yet, but it's close enough. And that is how Armani is looking to leverage this upgrade, this advantage that he has found for himself. That being said, though, running on into those lurkers in the 3rd base removed any sort of advantage that Armani had, because that's just how these things go. Now, That Bile will actually get a lurker. Very, very nice there from Armani. But Rogue says, to hell with this. I have burrow speed. I have a lot of lurkers. I'm actually going to be able to segment off your army here. Lurkers are going to look to burrow on everything. The spines are going to go down. And now Armani, he had a 50 supply lead just recently. But that doesn't matter anymore here. Now, of course, with the Vipers here, we will see some blinding clouds on top of the most of the lurkers that are now in position to take this fight. But it's not going to matter here. And GG Rogue, he's going to take the game. And now we're going to have to see Dream come on in to try to take down Rogue. Ace player number 1 has been unlocked. Rogue won the game against Armani. Now we're going to see ace player number 2 come on in. As it's going to be Dream versus Rogue for our 4th game in this grand finals. And Armani looked good. He absolutely did look good, and he had a massive lead at one point, but he did not leverage it appropriately. And diving your Roach Ravager into a bunch of lurkers, it's just not going to work. It's just never going to work. Alright, so Oxide will be our... What is that? Math is hard. Our 5th map. Oxide will be our 5th total map here. Both players, Dream and Rogue, well, whoever wins, that means they will force the... revive. They will force the revive there. Most likely, it's going to be Dream or Rogue getting revived once again, so... I think we can look at this effectively as a best of 3 between these two players, as we see who's going to take the victory here, and whether we go to 7 games. I hope we go to 7 games. We have not had that happen thus far in these playoffs. Granted, it's been 1 game. It's been the semifinals. That went to 6, so I'm not complaining too much here. But Dream Rogue, they're loaded on in. Let's get on into things. Spawning in the bottom left, in the blue, he is, of course, representing Good Game Gaming, but also the Army Reserve. Give it up for Dream. And his opponent in the upper right, in the red, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, the captain of 3AB, he is Rogue. My hair is not red. If it looks kind of reddish, that is just the lighting or maybe some filter I have to make sure my green screen works appropriately. Now I got brown hair. Well, I guess the sun is kind of rising too, so maybe, well, it's not really red. The light's not all that red yet. Anyway, yeah, Rogue absolutely is the nuclear option for his team. Dream kind of the same, but in terms of scales of nuclear options, Dream is the nuke that was dropped to end World War II. Powerful nuke, absolutely. Rogue is Sarbomba. Rogue is the nuclear bomb that, when tested, wiped out like 100 kilometers of 100-kilometer radius of forest in the Soviet in Siberia. So yes, Dream is good, but Rogue, he's the GSL champion. He won Season 2. He's just so freaking good at everything that Dream's got his work cut out for him, especially considering he's going to have to kill Rogue twice. Now, Rogue going for a really quick 3rd base here. That is rather surprising indeed. Going for that 19 supply 3rd base. Now, that is something you'll see Korean Zergs do against Protoss, but less so against Terran. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what Rogue is going for here, or whether he's just saying, "Look, I don't think you're 2-raxing me, Dream. I'm going to take the greedy play." And actually, Dream's not going to scout this for the time being, so Dream won't be able to punish if he doesn't scout it. Actually, Zeiss, my hair is a bit of a mess. I took a shower late last night, and then I went to bed, and this is just kind of the hair I woke up with. So I'm not too happy with how it looks, to be totally honest. But I didn't have time to take a shower this morning because you get up at 4 o'clock, you do things at 5, And it's generally that half hour is time spent warming your aperture up, getting all the tweets out, and getting all the assets ready that you need to get done. So it's not gonna happen. Funnily enough, sleeping is making my I found recently, for whatever reason, I wake up with better hair than when I go to bed. But anyway, Dream with a little bit of banter here. Not totally sure. But anyway, yeah, Gomba, it is just about, what time is it right now? Actually, it is 6:20 here on the East Coast of the United States. In Korea, I'm not exactly sure what time it is, but I can check. I apologize for the lag for just half a second. So, actually, no, never mind. The poster was the foreign poster. So, what time is it in Korea right now? I believe it's like 9 p.m., I think. Yeah, it's like 8:20. 8:20 p.m. in Korea. Man, if someone in chat knows Korean, be my guest. But I don't speak it, so what can you do? But now, of course, it will be a Cloaked Banshee opener coming on in here from Dream. Hellion Banshee will be the play. So you're in Europe then, Gomba. Okay. That is, yeah. So you're like what? 6 hours ahead is UK, Poland area. That swath yeah, UK is 5 or 6 hours ahead. So, okay. But anyway, this Cloaked Banshee has been scouted by Dream. Stim will of course be the follow-up, and we're actually going to see a second Banshee coming out here, which makes a lot of sense. You really don't see single Banshees anymore. But actually, wait, is that going to be a third? No, it's just going to be the second. Okay. And now the Queen's doing a really good job of shooing the Hellions off. And ideally here, one of the ideas of Cloaked Banshees, you do as much damage to the Queens with your Hellions as you can, which means the Banshees can maybe get a little bit more done. But that is an old school format, to be totally honest here. At this point, there are enough Queens to get built that it's not a big deal. Oh, Hungary, okay. Well, Gombo, you're making me hungry. As I'm sure you've never heard that before. But anyway, yeah. Now, of course, we will have the Hellions doing a really good job of sharking around here. They've actually done a fantastic job of delaying creep. And look at this. Rogue taking the 9 o'clock, or excuse me, the 3 o'clock base as his 4th base. That's not something you see all that often, to be totally honest. Not in this matchup. Generally, you kind of get the pocket 3rd, but generally you get the pocket 4th. But Rogue has been spreading creeps to that side, so he's going to be in a little bit better position to do that. As now the Zerglings are kind of chewing away, not really going to get a whole lot done. But I find it interesting that we have not seen these Banshees do anything. They've just sat at home. But now they're across the map. Okay. But now, okay, Zergling counterattack will actually get a decent amount of done here. The 2 Hellions are on the defensive, but not really going to be able to get a whole lot done here. As 3 and maybe more SCVs will go down. Now, of course, the Banshees, they're starting to get some damage as well, as they're just sitting in hold position here on top of the mineral line. 5 drones will go down, of course, with the Queens here. Not really going to get a lot more than that. But, well, Dream, he's going to get more damage than he took. So, at the end of the day, not going to be unhappy with that whatsoever. 1-1 on the way. Burrow, really fast Burrow here for Rogue. That's pretty cool. And I don't know whether this is going to be for baneling landmines, whether this is going to be just for scouting, for protection against drops. There are multiple different options that you can use Burrow for. Yeah, Raynor is just really good. So you don't get too surprised when you see him win a game. I mean, he is the reigning world champion at this point. But now more and more Zerglings, Banelings on the way here. As Rogue, he's pretty happy with this situation. He has his 4 bases done. 5th base on the way here. 1-1 about halfway done. It's not going to be quite as fast as the Terrans, but still not a bad timing. And I'm kind of curious to see exactly what Rogue wants to go for in this game. Whether he opts to go for, whether it's just pure Lane Bane, whether he goes into Lurker style, or whether he goes in for something else. Now, nice target fire there. Will be able to knock down a decent amount of these Banelings, but now we have a Zergling counterattack coming on in once again. Rogue doing fantastic damage here. The entire mineral line going to go down, and most of the Zerglings will be able to escape as well. Will it? No, they won't get any of the tanks, but 23 workers do go down. Most of the harassment gets away anyways, and yeah, Banshee tried to swoop in on the 3rd base here of Rogue, but Not going to get anything done as well. So 1-1 now done. 2-2, of course, on the way here for Dream, but Rogue in a fantastic position thus far. There we go. Infestation Pit on the way. So this is most likely going to be Lurker Tech. I mean, I guess you could go for Fast Ultras. That is the traditional format, but that's not something we see nearly as often because, honestly, Lurkers, they just kind of feel like they're better. But as we don't see a Hydrogen on the way, maybe it will just be a Quick Hive for Ultras. Anyway, Rogue going up to near 100 workers now. We have this Banshee on the 3 o'clock position, trying to get something done, but will not be. Really, it's going to get 2 drones. But again, Rogue, he's at 90 workers. I don't think he cares about losing 2 or 3 workers here or there. But yeah, it's looking more and more like it will be Ultratech, as in part, actually, Rogue has not really gotten a lot of gases. He's only sitting on 6 gas, not 8. And you do kind of want that 8 gas when dealing with going on into Lurker Tech. So now, actually, a bunch of Zerglings will find this drop here, and yeah, there's actually enough Zerglings that Dream cannot afford to take this fight, although he will get a decent enough trade there. But now Banelings, they're going to look to roll on in through the wall once again, but now with the tank siege on up, I don't think they're going to be as impactful as that run by earlier on. There we go. Hive is on the way, though. And the Banelings, they're going to look to try to bust this wall down. Oh, actually, you know what? It's not. Oh, the tank was unsieged. And 7 workers go down. The tank briefly unsieged. They're the worst possible timing there for Dream. And, you know, it's one of those things, it's this star sense that top-tier players do have. Yes, are they good? Absolutely. Do they have top-tier mechanics, top-tier gameplay, top-tier understanding of the game? That they do, but hold that thought, Rogue. He's going to come crashing on in here. Tanks, they're not totally sieged up quite yet, and as soon as the tank sieged up, Rogue, he just backs on up. But I was going to say, one thing that these championship players do have, on top of everything else, they are incredible at forming their own luck. Now, this Banshee will go down. 2 more drones will die as well. But now we got a solid push coming on up here. It is 2-2 versus 1-1 for the time being. The Banelings won't get anything done. And suddenly Dream is actually in a pretty good position. Up 30 total supply here. Now here's the flank coming in here. Rogue looking to sweep the Terran army from the map. Of course, the 4th base does go down, but the Banelings, they're running past everything. But Banelings, actually, they will not all go down. Oh, Dream with the fight. With the Dream light engagement here. Yeah, he's now up 30 total supply. The 4th base does go down. Tanks are still alive. The rally from Dream coming on in. Absolutely no Banelings on the map. We only have 2 more on the way. Of course, the Queens have been pulled to try to make the defense. Rogue, though, he's not taking the fight that he has been looking for, and it looks like he's going to look to maybe go for a counterattack, try to cut off some reinforcements. But this army from Dream is damn powerful indeed. Now we've dropped coming on into this natural here, as actually the rally is doing a decent job of holding on in here, but no, SCVs will be forced to get pulled. Baylor's going to run on in here, but no, Dream is on top of things. Not exactly the trade that Rogue was looking for. And now, of course, with the bio here on into the natural, we will see more and more workers do go down. Queen's doing what they can, but they're just going to get targeted down here. And this is just such a good position here for Dream. As now he's stimming on in. Once again, Banelings, they're going to get nothing done. Tanks on the high ground in a fantastic position. Actually, no, the Baneling nest is going to come under fire here, and that is going to be a big problem indeed. Dream has been managed to cut off circulation between the natural and the 3rd base. Zerg is getting on top of things, hoping for some friendly fire, but the army is kiting on back here. Queens, they're doing what they can to knock off this Liberator, and the Liberator will eventually go down. Rogue, though, he is at death's doorstep. 76 army supply, 230. The Baneling nest goes down. Yes, we have an Ultra Cavern on the way, but I'm not sure it's going to matter. GG Rogue! He's going to fall. Dream, he's going to take the game. The Army Reserve on match point, on tournament point here. Dream, he's going to take down Rogue. And there we have it. Dream, he took the game, but he's probably going to have to take Rogue again, because who in the world do you revive unless it is the captain? One of the greatest Zerg players to ever play this game, unless it is Rogue. So we're going to have to see exactly what happens with that. I don't know what map 6 will be. Okay, I have no idea. My smart speaker decided to go off for whatever reason. It thought, but for some reason, whatever I said in that call triggered my smart speaker. So apologies for that. That was not a throw, Goetingen. Dream had he had his 2-2 timing. He hit it very well. He started that attack before Rogue had his 2-2. And he got himself in a fantastic siege done-up position. And then Rogue tried to sweep the army because he a little bit underestimated just how much Dream had, and then, well, things happened. Now it looks like Rogue will be, yeah, Rogue's gonna get of course Rogue's gonna get revived. Who else would it be? That's what we're talking about. This is effectively a best of 3 between Dream and Rogue at this point. But yeah, Rogue, he tried to take the one big fight to clear the Terran player off, because of course, once the Terran player knocks that 4th base out, he's able to really get have this problematic position that, like Rogue, experienced. So he wanted to clear it off immediately, but the tanks did a damn good job of target firing all the banelings down. And when that happened, well, there were no banelings left. The army of Rogue was able to just barely stay alive. Rogue barely missed that fight. And it snowballed from there. But Romanticide will be our 6th map here. And man, we've seen some fantastic, fan-freaking-tastic TVZs thus far. But now we're loaded on in to what is perhaps our final game in this entire tournament. The Army Reserve up 3-2 on 3AB. Let's get on into Game 6. Spawning in the upper left, in the blue, the ace for the Army Reserve. Give it up for Dream. And his opponent, the captain, the super ace from 3AB, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, the one, the only, he's Rogue. We have to see exactly what Rogue opts to go for here, because in all honesty, it felt like Rogue got everything he wanted out of that game, out of that previous game, out of that game number 5. He got his quick third hatchery unpunished. He took 0 damage, or he took very little damage from the Hellion Banshee. He got into his 5, 6, 7 bases pretty easily. He got his hive done. He had his Ultra Cavern on the way. All of these things. But I almost wonder whether maybe, just maybe, Rogue was a little bit too greedy with how quickly he got into things. Because that Zergling baneling style is fantastic at dealing with heavily aggressive Terran players. And Rogue, I mean, he got the run by. He got 23 workers on into the mid-game. He was in a fantastic position to absolutely just close that out, force the revive to be used by Dream instead. But no, Dream, he just took that one fight that he needed, and that was all that he needed there. And he put the screws to Rogue. And yes, Zeiss, if Dream wins this, it's all over. Rogue, the one revive will have been used. Of course, this is a best of 7. Dream, he takes this game. It's going to be 4-2 victory for the Army Reserve. Yes, that is true. That is true, Gomba. That is true indeed. So it is a Reaper expand coming on in from Dream once again. You don't really see Reapers get skipped in this matchup. We've started to see it maybe a little bit, but realistically, not all that often, as the Reaper's going to find its way on into the natural, because you want to be able to delay creep, and that's what that first Reaper, that's what its real goal is at this point. Yeah, it's kind of a skill check, it's an APM check, but the big goal is to be able to delay creep spread, knock off that tumor, and actually, oh, no, never mind, Dream getting very close to killing that off, of course, with the Zergling's body blocking the drone for the time being, but no, will not happen. And now the Reaper, there we go. Actually, it can die, no, it will not get the creep tumor, okay. This is true, Gomba, but there are more people than just Hungarians watching, so I got to be a little bit careful there. Just got to be a little bit careful. So this will be a third command center play, a 3CC play coming on in from Dream. He hops high ground, low ground, high ground, trying to see what scouting can get done. But no, with the Zerglings there, with the Queens, he's not really going to get a ton of scouting here. And away we go. How many gases do we have? So, yeah, 2 gas. Yeah, 2 gases have been taken here from Dream. And there with the tech lab on the way. Where is that tech lab, though? Is this going to be Hellion Banshee once again? It looks like it with the tech lab positioning. It looks like we're going to see a Banshee come on up rather soon. But, of course, there's a third base here. It's not all that aggressive. It's just going to be the posturing. It's going to be the map control tech path of choice here from our blue Terran player. But actually, it's going to be a Viking first. That's interesting. We're going to see a Polt Viking. Going to show it on the map here and just try to knock off the Overlords. Of course, there are 2 Overlords that he's going to get for free. Maybe he's going to be able to get a third one as well. But no, will not be for Banshees after all. Stim is now on the way. And away we go. This time, Lair, it's not quite as slow as it once was. And Rogue, he's not really droning on his third base that easily, all that heavily. So it looks like we're actually going to see some semblance of two-base Muta coming on in here. I mean, yeah, he does have a third base, but, well, actually, this is a lot of Zerglings that have been made. Going up to 27. Oh, there we go. It's going to be a Queen Zergling Nidus will be the tech path. I was kind of wondering whether we'd see something like that, but oh, Dream, he's going to be able to dive on into the third base. He's going to say, okay, that's a lot. There are Zerglings popping out here. There are so few drones at that third base. There's very little saturation. So Dream should be aware of what's happening, but he's not in the best position to make this hold happen, to be totally honest. Oh, the Zerglings are going to be able to circumnavigate, and we have a scan coming on in here, but this is just not... Oh, the Hellions, they're not going to go on the high ground. Are they... they will not. They'll be warded off by these Queens, which means that the Nidus is absolutely unscattered. Now, Zerglings will find this third base. And there's actually no wall, so Nidus is going to come up into the main base as Zerglings are going to look to run on in here. But the Nidus in the main base, this is the scary thing indeed. Zerglings, they're going to try to get something done here, but the drop is actually going to be able to deal with him rather nicely. But notice, this is a Hellbat push, by the way. All right, so the Nidus is now available. Nidus is now aware of Dreams. Is like, okay, I see what's happening here. And we will have to see, we're just going to have to see a bunch of Hellbats get morphed on it immediately. Do we have that armory? Yes, we do. So there we go. Hellbats morphing on in. And when you're looking at a Queen Zergling Nidus, Hellbats are probably one of the best things you can do. I mean, tanks as well, but that's not going to be what you need here, as everything's going to get on top of these Queens. Queens are going to start to go down now. Zerglings, they're going to find the natural. But look at this. Zerglings, they're, of course, running on in. They're getting choked on up here. Oh, but the SCVs, you got to lower that ramp just a little bit now. The Nidus, the Night Eye, and the Natural go down. 12 workers have died, but Dream still has a worker lead. He still has 3 bases, and this is just not working for Rogue, the tech path of choice. Oh, look at that choke. Zerglings, they're running on up, but they're just not getting anything done. Nothing whatsoever. Oh, that is a fantastic Hellbat positioning there. Yeah, we've seen a little bit, and this third base does need to still continue to be lifted. But Dream, he is taking the Dream build on in here. And he is in such a wonderful, wonderful position. This is the most impactful Hellbat timing that I've ever seen, because yes, did it kill anything? No. Did it kill any? Did it kill any drones on the other side of the map? It did not. However, it absolutely made Dream able to hold that rather easily, and now he's up on workers. He has his 3 bases. He has his mules. Now we do, of course, we're waiting on some eBays. No eBays on the map. Only one on the eBay on the way for the moment. Now we have the Liberator sieging on up here. This Queen should go down. And there we go. The Queen will get targeted on down here. Second Queen maybe as well, but no, he's just going to target down a bunch of drones. And that Liberator's actually already gotten a decent amount of damage done. Now Zerglings, they're going to stream on into the... There's actually no wall here. So Dream has to be very careful. Actually, this wall's just going to get targeted down, which is going to be rather unfortunate. That is going to supply block Dream for a good bit here. The Queen... Oh, it's another Queen. Okay, 2 more Queens do go down. So 6 workers, 2 Queens will be the end of things here. Now, I want to say Rogue is dead, but Rogue is a fantastic player, and he can absolutely fight his way on back into things. But we're looking to see whether when Dream is going to look to take advantage of this timing. Because, of course, we didn't see him move out across the map immediately. He said, okay, well, I'm just going to kind of sit back here. I'm going to turtle on up. I'm going to take advantage. I'm going to get ahead. Because I'm ahead, I'm just going to get more ahead here as he's building walls everywhere. Now, we have this drop coming on in, but there are 5 Queens. That's not going to get a whole lot done. Rogue, though, on 3 bases. The Terran player also on 3 bases. And this is, of course, Spire tech behind this, so we do have a Spire done, but no Mutas on the way quite yet, because Rogue is heinously supply blocked. +1 air attack will go on the way here, and I do like this. I do like seeing Zerg players go more and more for +1 air attack, because you have a stronger fighting force later on. You can knock down buildings just a little bit more, and there we go. 9 Mutas, 10 Mutas will be the price here. As the baneling nest is done, we should see baneling speed on the way rather soon. But you got to remember here, there is no Evo chamber for our Zerg players. So, yes, there are 12 Mutas on the way, and yes, they may do a decent job of delaying Dream from getting across the map, but actually they will be revealed here, as this drop's not going to get anything done. But now, Dream, he's looking to put the screws to these Zerg players. He says, look, you tried something, it did not work. +1 is just about done here. Baneling speed is not anywhere near done. And now, well, how many banelings do we have on the map? We only have 3. Now, Dream is going to, of course, struggle to get across the map too quickly, get on in there too quickly, because the creep spread is somewhat decent. But, well, the Mutas will find this Viking on the left-hand side, which means that, well, the Vikings are not there, and the tanks are going to look to maybe see it. Well, actually, tanks are sieged back a good bit, but this target fire from Dream is dreamy indeed. And now with the tanks here on top of these doodads, now the Mutas, they're going to look to try to take this fight, but there's enough bio here that they really shouldn't get a whole lot done. And now we should see Dream getting ready to push on forward. Now, notice Dream, he's not rallying forward with this. He has a lot of his army sitting at home, ready and waiting to knock off all of these Mutas. Now with the Thor here, yeah, these Mutas are not going to get a whole lot done. So we have this drop on the left-hand side that has been scouted, of course. But this should give Dream license to move on in on the right-hand side here. Bio Simon on forward, and of course we don't have 1-1. We don't have any Evo chambers on the way. Rogue is going to try to do this without any sort of upgrades whatsoever, just getting mass Muta. And you know what? In the grand scheme of things, I don't hate it, but at the end of the day, I'm not sure how. I'm not sure how good it is going to be. As now the army of Dream stimming on in here has found that position between the natural and the third base. The Spire maybe it's going to get targeted down. Mutas as they pop out, they are going down here. Now the tanks shelling away at things. Now Zerglings, Banelings, they're going to try to take the break here. And now the Mutas are going to get on top of all of these tanks. Tanks getting targeted down. But the Mutas, there's just not a whole lot left. It is, of course, a bunch of 1-1 bio. Queens do not take this fight at all. And now the Marines, they're going to stim on forward. But, of course, with the Mutas here, the medevacs are going to go slowly down. And the Mutas, they do have +1. So the bio will be forced back. But Dream, he's just taking damn good fights. Now, the bio will find the Mutas as well. Dream, he's just going to rotate on to the left-hand side of the map because there's not a lot of creep here on this map whatsoever. Dream can kind of move with impunity. His fourth base is on position now. Planetary is about halfway done. More and more Thors are on the way. And this 2-2 timing is just going to be damn powerful indeed. Now, oh, the Mutas, you got to be careful here. One Muta just going down immediately. As Dream striking about with two armies, one on the left, one on the right. This army on the right really shouldn't get a whole lot done. But this does give license for Dream to maybe move on in on the left-hand side here, as the Thors are powerful. Now, one medevac will get snapped down. We've actually seen a decent amount of medevacs die in this game. 3 medevacs have, of course, died, but now we have enough. And now Dream consolidating his army into one big, powerful force. 2-2 now done in about 25 seconds. And that is, of course, the timing he is looking for. He's going to be up. Actually, he's only going to be up one set of upgrades. He's not going to have a timing where he is up 2. But now the Mutas, they're going to find, for the first time in this game, Dream not really putting as much pressure on Rogue as he was previously, so the Mutas will be able to find their way across the map just a little bit. Knock off that sensor tower, knock off just a little bit of the wall, and that is going to be Rogue's opportunity to take his 5th base. That being said, though, Dream just about maxed out. He has 2-2. And this is the timing that Dream has been looking for. Now, the Mutas, they're going to be able to get something done. Of course, they do have, they're about to have +2. But actually, wait, no. 2-2 was canceled? Was 2-2 killed? Oh, no, Rogue! Oh, no, never mind. What am I saying? Rogue never had 2-2 on the way. He just had 1-1. It is that one upgrade lead. We have a nice pre-splits coming on up here, but there's no missile turret on the 4th base. So Rogue actually started to get really significant damage done. And of course, with Hydras on the map here as well, this is a powerful fighting force, to be sure, but this, I don't know how Rogue holds this 4th base. It is 2-2 versus 1-1. And there are just not a lot of banelings on the map. There are actually 0 banelings on the map here. So now the army, or there are 3 that just finished morphing on in here. Zerglings flanking on in from behind, but the bio is in such a fantastic position. The banelings not getting the trades they're looking for. Dream, he is in such a fantastic position here on the high ground. The Thor will be saved here. The Zergling flank is not going to get anything done. And now we have the rally coming on in. Yes, the Mutas are getting something done. 16 workers have died, but I'm not sure how much it matters because the army of Dream is here. It is powerful. It is streaming on in, and with the Thors and the Marines, actually a decent amount of Mutas will die as well. Yes, 16 SCVs have died, but that's not going to be it. GG Dream, the super ace for the Army Reserve, is going to take game number 6, is going to take this series. It's going to take the entire tournament for the Army